You never lose a dream, it just incubates as a hobby. Always deliver more than expected. Always work hard on something uncomfortably exciting. You need to get one thing done well, or else you don't have permission to do anything else. Anything you can imagine probably is doable, you just have to imagine it and work on it. Find the leverage in the world so you can be truly lazy. We have always believed that it's possible to make money without being evil. The moments that we have with friends and family, the chances that we have to make a big difference in the world or even to make a small difference to the ones we love, all those wonderful chances that life gives us, life also takes away. It can happen fast and a whole lot sooner than you think. Don't be evil, apparently people like it better than, be good. You can try to control people, or you can try to have a system that represents reality. I find that knowing what's really happening is more important than trying to control people. Every story I read about Google is about us versus some other company, or something else, and I really don't find that interesting. We should be building great things that don't exist. Being negative is not how we make progress. Our goal is long-term growth in revenue and absolute profit, so we invest aggressively in future innovation while tightly managing our short-term costs. The ultimate search engine would understand exactly what you mean and give back exactly what you want. We really care about our brand. We really want it to stand for high quality. We want people to be excited about it, for it to be fun. If you ask an economist what's driven economic growth, it's been major advances in things that mattered, the mechanization of farming, mass manufacturing, things like that. The problem is, our society is not organized around doing that. I feel like my job as CEO is always to be pushing people ahead. Excellence matters, and technology advances so fast that the potential for improvement is tremendous. So, since becoming CEO again, I've pushed hard to increase our velocity, improve our execution, and focus on the big bets that will make a difference in the world. Most of us carry at least one device, all the time, every day. In fact, many of us would feel naked without our smartphone. It's hardly surprising mobile search queries, and mobile commerce, are growing dramatically across the world. How exciting is it to come to work if the best you can do is trounce some other company that does roughly the same thing? We should be focusing on building things that do not exist. I remember turning in my first assignment in elementary school using the computer and the teachers were kind of confused that I had printed it. I think it is often easier to make progress on mega-ambitious dreams. I know that sounds completely nuts. But, since no one else is crazy enough to do it, you have little competition. There are so few people this crazy that I feel like I know them all by first name. They all travel as if they are pack dogs and stick to each other like glue. The best people want to work the big challenges. The web is a vast collection of completely uncontrolled heterogeneous documents. I like going to Burning Man, for example. That's an environment where people can try out different things. I think as technologists we should have some safe places where we can try out some new things and figure out what is the effect on society, what's the effect on people, without having to deploy kind of into the normal world. For a lot of companies, it's useful for them to feel like they have an obvious competitor and to rally around that. I personally believe it's better to shoot higher. You don't want to be looking at your competitors. You want to be looking at what's possible and how to make the world better. Lots of companies don't succeed over time. What do they fundamentally do wrong? They usually miss the future. I try to focus on that. What is the future really going to be? And how do we create it? And how do we power our organization to really focus on that and really drive it at a high rate? When I was working on Android, I felt guilty. It wasn't what we were working on, it was a startup, and I felt guilty. That was stupid. It was the future. You don't need to have a 100-person company to develop that idea. Serving our end users is at the heart of what we do and remains our #1 priority. It's important to distinguish between worry versus harm when it came to privacy online. Google will fulfill its mission only when its search engine is AI complete. You guys know what that means. That's artificial intelligence. If you can run the company a bit more collaboratively, you get a better result, because you have more bandwidth and checking and balancing going on. The amazing thing is that we're part of people's daily lives, like brushing their teeth. It's just something they do throughout the day while working, buying things, deciding what to do after work and much more. Google has been accepted as part of people's lives. We chose it because we deal with huge amounts of data. Besides, it sounds really cool. As a precaution, we're making machines extremely heavy with very tiny legs. If your business is static, you're likely to have issues. We try to, when you come to Google, fulfill that need that you have as quickly as possible. Over time, it's becoming more and more understood by people that we're acting in their interests. And that's a very, very powerful thing for our brand. Sergey and I founded Google because we're super optimistic about the potential for technology to make the world a better place. Think about how many people are underserved by transportation today, like those with disabilities, and how self-driving cars will transform their lives. Or the wasted time you sit in your car every day commuting to and from work. Or the deaths and injuries that could be avoided. I have a simple algorithm, which is, wherever you see paid researchers instead of grad students, that's not where you want to be doing research. You have to combine both things, invention and innovation focus, plus the company that can commercialize things and get them to people. We understand the need to balance our short and longer-term needs because our revenue is the engine that funds all our innovation. But over time, our emerging high-usage products will likely generate significant new revenue streams for Google as well as for our partners, just as search does today. If you look at the people who have high impact, they have pretty general knowledge. They don't have a really narrowly focused education. Technology should do the hard work, so you can get on and live your life. We're only at 1% of what's possible, and we're moving slow relative to the opportunity we have. Being negative is not how we make progress, and the most important things are not zero-sum. You're going to have some very amazing capabilities in the economy. When we have computers that can do more and more jobs, it's going to change how we think about work. There's no way around that. You can't wish it away. Part of our brand is that we're pretty understated in what we do. If you look at other technology companies, they might pre-announce things, and it will be a couple years before they really happen, and they don't happen in the way they said they would. We have always tried to concentrate on the long term, and to place bets on technology we believe will have a significant impact over time. It's hard to imagine now, but when we started Google, most people thought search was a solved problem and that there was no money to be made apart from some banner advertising. We felt the exact opposite, that search quality was very poor, and that awesome user experiences would clearly make money. The Star Trek computer doesn't seem that interesting. They ask it random questions, it thinks for a while. I think we can do better than that. We believe strongly that in the long term, we will be better served, as shareholders and in all other ways, by a company that does good things for the world even if we forego some short-term gains. This is an important aspect of our culture and is broadly shared within the company. We are excited about internet access in general. With better access to the internet, people do more searches. We have always wanted Google to be a company that is deserving of great love. But we recognize this is an ambitious goal because most large companies are not well loved, or even seemingly set up with that in mind. We're lucky to have a very direct relationship with our users, which creates a strong incentive for us to do the right thing. The "be good" concept also comes up when we design our products. We want them to have positive social effects. It is a tremendous responsibility for us to have all the eyes focused on what we do and give people exactly what they need when they ask for it. As devices multiply and usage changes, many users coming online today may never use a desktop machine. It becomes more and more important to ensure that people can access all of their stuff anywhere. As we transition from one screen to multi-screens, Google has enormous opportunities to innovate and drive ever higher monetization. Just like search in 2000,